Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the Flow of Consciousness YouTube channel. We're currently at Lago de Braias. It's just magical. Like, I can't even start to describe what it looks like in real life. It's so incredibly beautiful. Anyways, what I want to talk about in this video is one of my favorite agreements in the book, The Four Agreements by Miguel Riuz. And Miguel Riuz is a Toltoic monk who described the Toltoic wisdom in his book. Now, one of my favorite agreements in the book is don't take things personally. And it is definitely something that I have struggled with basically all my life. When I was younger, I used to take everything personally. A negative glance or a stupid remark, and I took it personally. I was thinking about it all night long, like what did I do wrong, or why did this person not like me? I used to walk past a group of people and they look behind them and they start laughing, and I thought it was about me. So I want to share with you what I did to change that, right? How I actually changed my approach, my mindset, my attitudes. And the book really helped me do that. Not taking things personally is such a relief once you understand that people are actually not paying that much attention to you. Once you understand that 99% of people's reactions is really not about you, and that realization changed everything for me, and it helped me feel a lot less worse about myself and the world, because if you take everything personally, you suffer a lot. You think so much about why people dislike you, why people look at you like that, why people behave this way or that way, and it's just eating you up from the inside. It's just such a burden, and that's why I feel so passionate about this topic, and I want to share with you how I learned to not take things personally anymore, because it relieved a massive amount of my suffering and it cleared up so much space in my head and in my mind, and that's why I want to share this with you. Now, the first thing you need to understand is that people actually don't care that much about you. They really don't. They're in their heads just like you are. You're thinking about what other people are thinking, but they are doing the same. So understanding that they are busy with their own lives and they don't really spend that much time judging you or thinking about you. They just live their lives. So this is the first mindset shift you need to make. It's to understand that people don't care that much about you. Now, secondly, if people actually behave in a mean way, or they are giving you a hard time, or they are judgmental, or they are angry, or they are blaming you, or whatever negative reaction they might have towards you, that is also, in 90% of the cases, nothing personal. It's usually because they are in a very bad place themselves. It's usually because they are projecting things onto you that they themselves struggle with. If you do something and it triggers them and they react mean, or they react with a passive aggressive attitude, it's usually not because of you in particular. If somebody else would have behaved the same way as you did in that situation, they would have probably reacted the same way, simply because this behavior is a trigger for them that is caused by the way they were raised, or the traumas they went through, or the experiences they had growing up. So if somebody acts mean to you in a certain situation, usually it is because there's maybe parts in their personality that they are not comfortable with expressing, and you embody a certain quality that they haven't fully integrated, and it triggers them. So again, this is nothing personal. This is not about you. This is really about them not having done the integration work. Maybe they're not even aware that they lack, or that they have issues with this behavior or character trait. Let me give you an example. I used to judge people at the gym who were so full of themselves, right? They were so full of themselves, so arrogant, and I couldn't stand them. And it really triggered me. I had difficulties dealing with these people. Now, after discovering it's not about them, it's something internal within me, I judge that because it is something that I have difficulties with myself. I used to be a massive people pleaser, so people who are arrogant, they go for what they want, they're go-getters, and it was something that I lacked in my personality, something that I felt like I missed. And so I judged it in other people because I was just too afraid to be someone like them, right? Now, after discovering this about myself, I started to integrate this, and I started to be more of a go-getter. I started to be a little bit more arrogant, and I started to understand their perspective. So it was really not about them, it was really about me. Now, if you turn the tides, if you shift the perspective from yours to theirs, they can think the same about me. Maybe they were judging me because I was so quiet or so emotional, and this is something that they didn't really integrate in their personalities, right? So not taking things personally is very, very important if you want to live a peaceful life, if you don't want to stay awake all night thinking about how people are judging you or what they were thinking or why they glance a little bit, negatively in your direction. It's not about you. People are living their lives. Maybe they were just telling a joke, or maybe their grandmother died, or they had a fight with a loved one. You don't know that. You really don't know that. So stop to take things personally all the time. You are not that important. You really aren't that important. And that is a crucial realization that I made, that I'm not that important. Don't think that the world is circling around you, that you are the center of the universe. You are not. You're really not. So it's also kind of like a lesson in humility, right? To understand that people really don't care that much about you. The people who love you, yes, they do care about you, but random strangers, they don't give a shit. And if they do, then they forget about it in half an hour. They already forgot about it because you're no longer in their lives. So understanding that they don't really care about you, first of all. Secondly, many people are unconscious about their triggers, about their traumas, about the things that they lack in their personality, and they usually project that onto others. We usually judge in others what we hate within ourselves. We usually judge in others what we don't have within ourselves. So again, this is nothing personal. It doesn't matter who embodied the arrogance in my case. Whoever was an arrogant person in the gym, I would judge them. But it's not specific to that person because I didn't know this person. This person was just embodying arrogance, and I had difficulties with that because I judged it within myself. I was too afraid to be a little bit more arrogant, and that's why I judged those people. Understand that people live their lives. People have their own issues. They are as much in their heads as you are. They're thinking as much about what other people think of them as you are. They have things happening to them, things happening with them. They have their own worries. And so maybe in certain cases, they react a certain way because they've had a very shitty day, or they just had a fight, or they are confused or stressed out because they have tons of deadlines. It's not about you. Stop thinking you are the center of the universe. And I used to do that. And realizing that I am not. People are not constantly thinking about me, right? I was constantly thinking about them, but they're not constantly thinking about me. I'm not that important, and you are not that important as well. And that's a good thing. That's a great thing, because you can be important to yourself. You can be important in silence, and that's amazing because you can make of that whatever you want, right? And then the second thing, again, to wrap it up, people have so many unconscious triggers that they are not aware of, that they project onto others, and that's again nothing personal. That is their responsibility, that is their struggle, that is their trip. And it's not your responsibility to fix that for them or to solve that for them. It's just a fact that you should not take their reactions personally. And in certain cases, yes, things are your fault. And you probably know when things are your fault. And in that case, you can take it personally because it is really your fault. And then you should own up to your faults. You should take responsibility for your mistakes. And that is the most empowering thing you can do. But taking things personally constantly, that is very disempowering. It's pulling you down, and that's not good. You're spending too much time thinking about other people's opinions, and you can better spend your time elsewhere. I would invite you to think about, who do you want to be again? This is a big topic on my channel. Who do you want to be? Do you want to be the person that takes everything personally, that is actually small, rooted in ego? Or do you want to be large and understand that people have their lives? People don't care that much about you. And if you offer value, if you are a centered, rooted person, and if you don't judge, even though people might be mean to you, right? You don't have to judge them. You can set a clear boundary. You can let them know, hey, that was not nice of you, and I want to let you know that it was really not nice. But say it in a respectful manner. Draw a clear boundary because you respect yourself. You can let them know that this was inappropriate. You don't have to call them names or fight or start the drama. That's not necessary. You can just be clear and concise, and that is a great thing because it will give you a lot of personal power, a lot of empowerment. You will gain respect for yourself when you draw these boundaries and understand that their reactions, their behaviors is in 99% of the cases nothing personal, and when it is, you probably know and you made a mistake and you should own up to that mistake. I hope that this was helpful. Go read The 4 Agreements by Miguel Riuz. It's one of my favorite books and I highly recommend you check it out. On that note, I will end this video, and as always, thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.